Welcome to Wine Road, the wine, when, and where of northern Sonoma County. I'm your host, Marcy Gordon, with Beth Costa, Executive Director of the Wine Road.
Thanks to Ron Rubin, we're able to keep our podcast rolling along. The financial support of River Road Family Vineyards and Winery allows us to keep recording, keep sipping wine, and keep sharing stories with our listeners. Check out their website at riverroadvineyards.com and explore their Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Old Vine Zinfandel from the Russian River Valley, as well as a finely crafted Cabernet Sauvignon from the Alexander Valley. That's riverroadvineyards.com. And hey, thanks, Ron, for allowing us to make this show happen.
Welcome to episode 191. Today, our guest is Devin Ruddick, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Hook & Ladder. Welcome, Devin.
Hello. It's good to be back.
Yeah, we're excited to have Devin back. He did, unfortunately, show up a little late, and he forgot a bottle of wine, so he's on our naughty list.
I know, but he brought that wonderful voice, so yeah, that makes up for a lot.
I did bring the voice. I bring it with me everywhere. Usually I try and bring wine too, but yes.
So if you did bring a bottle of wine today from Hook & Ladder, what would you have brought? What would you want to talk about?
Well, since we just had the great holiday season, I enjoyed the Gewürztraminer with a couple of gatherings. And it's just this beautiful off-dry, 0.6% residual sugar, perfect pairing with really a run of different types of holiday classics.
Gewürz goes with everything, really.
It really is. And I think it gets...
It's a supporting wine for food. You know what I mean? It pairs so well.
Yes.
I think it's overlooked a lot, and there's not a lot of producers along the wine road that have Gewürz. So, I love it when
lucky.
I find it.
We have this, vineyard planted in the 70s, part of our ownership that has owned that, and really has produced that since the days that Deloach owned Deloach. So Gewürz has been a rich part of the history. It's on Olivet Road right there by the winery that we grow it, and it's just a perfect pairing for this time of season.
Well, there you go. Well, redeemed. If only we'd had a bottle this morning.
I'll send you one. Free shipping.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
But Hook & Ladder's right out there in the sweet spot of Olivet Road, one of our favorite go-to places for, that's the one and done wine tourism day. Go to Olivet Road.
No doubt about it. I mean, we have incredible neighbors. I mean, the likes of Martinelli and Bonovia, of course, Deloach, ourselves, and some smaller producers that you can really run the gamut and do it all just on that little strip. And then you can shoot out and have a wonderful dinner out in Sebastopol or up into Windsor and Healdsburg. So it really is the heart of the Russian River Valley, that Santa Rosa Plains area.
It's a little gateway.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then from our standpoint, when we're just trying to give advice for people who aren't sure where to go, it's an easy fix. It's one road. Just turn off onto Olivet, and there's a lot of wineries to choose from, and they are all different. I mean, you're really going to have a different experience at each one.
And beautiful out there. I mean, you're in between all these cities, but
it
it's
seems
so
strange.
far away yet so close. It's really a really great spot.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have a day of adventure. We all know that things are changing. We may only see your group for the one winery that you're going to that day, but you could go down to Armstrong Woods and you can go into explore Guerneville. So it really is as dynamic a region when it comes to things to do, but you got to always squeeze in the wine tasting. Just make sure you do that.
So speaking about squeezing in the wine tasting, you and I have had lots of different conversations about how things are really changing since COVID and when everything was closed, and then we reopened, but it was reservation only. And then things started, loosening up a little bit, and wineries were taking walk-in tasters. And then it's hard to know at this point where people really stand. I mean, there are definitely people who want to be able to just walk in, stand at the bar, taste a few wines. Then there's winery people that love to sit out in the gardens. And gosh, at Hook & Ladder, you guys did some extensive sort of, I don't know if you call it remodeling or landscaping, I guess, outside and expanded the picnic area. It's beautiful. Yeah. But how are you feeling about that? What do customers want? What are you hearing from people?
It is a time of reinvention. I think for the industry wide, I've been certainly had a lot of conversations of depth here with you and other people about seeing these changes, even prior to COVID.
Right.
And whether they were kind of demographic changes or just the fact that, 40 years of tasting 5 wines in a beautiful setting just might not be enough anymore to draw people out, along with the fact that there were a lot of other regions coming online. So, I think that still has to be a core of the business, but there needs to be content. There needs to be things to not only grab people from a marketing sense and social media, but on your events page, and to make sure that you are bringing people out for the first time. And we're doing that through a number of different campaigns, certainly music being right at the top of it. We're lucky to have kind of an outdoor stage and have brought some amazing local live music food trucks out there, looking at even doing mini music festivals. Then we've got, comedy. We've been doing an amazing author series called Reading Between the Vines.
Yeah, I saw that. I run a retreat program called Writing Between the Vines. So I'm
really?
like, we need to talk.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
I can be a feeder of authors to you.
Yeah.
That's it. I think for me, it's like, let's pair anything art with wine, because so much of what the changes are really lifestyle changes. So food is always going to be at the core of wine, but not all of us have extensive kitchens and how many charcuterie plates can one person get in a day. So, I really do think it's an important time to start to forward face yourself to a lot of different potential guests.
And kind of lean into the culture.
Yeah.
And I think what happened since COVID, and this is my opinion, is that it's very hard to get people to come back out. People got into that cocoon and everything comes to me.
Yeah.
And now you've got to go to it, but there needs to be that kind of what's the hook? What's the ladder to get me to come out? And I think what you're doing is kind of the sort of activities people want to do anyways, but now it's surrounded by the winery experience.
Yeah. I mean, you just put it really tightly in a nutshell. It's very hard to get repeat business, especially, again, just changing a flight. It isn't enough these days.
Right.
There's so much good wine out there. There's so many beautiful and great experiences that it's really kind of trying to bring what the person's looking for in the sense of a dynamic visitation to your property, and meaning that it has to change. So the setting can be beautiful, the wines can be great, but there still has to be something of significance to get people's interest sparked and to keep them coming back. I mean, so the amount of things that you have to have not only offered for out-of-state customers, but when they are visiting or people that are local it's just really important.
Yeah, I think also people are looking for more of a community in the wine setting as well. And so you're bringing the community, it's like ready-made, and you just come and you get to enjoy that. I think that's what works.
That's another great point, because I think one of the things we've also at least tried to do at Hook and Ladder is, and this comes, I'm not saying that this is for everyone or it doesn't come with some baggage, but to be somewhat family friendly. We watched breweries just continue to take market share and take visitation while, I remember going to a place in Petaluma where they literally had like a little park outside in their beer garden for kids to play in. And my wife and I, two young kids, were like, well, this is amazing. And here I am in an industry that at least historically, family friendly probably wouldn't even be the word, let alone let alone to actually, create an environment that is conducive.
Right.
And so, we've tried to meet somewhere in the middle. We are lucky to have a big enough property to kind of segment those experiences that, if there is a family coming, we can have that in an area that it's not necessarily going to distract from the couple who wants to get away from it all.
Right. Get engaged.
But that's what's hard, because there are people there who left their kids with the babysitter so they can enjoy the day.
No, you're exactly
I mean, that's
right.
how I always felt. I had 4 little kids. It's like I didn't want to go to an event and have you next to me with your little kids.
Exactly.
So
this is difficult.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
The balance.
But it is important, at least in our sense, to not forget about a large segment of people that could be very important to the industry.
Right. Well, and it's just a whole nother way for wineries to meet new people. I mean, your lifeblood is going to have to be bringing in new people. And if you're and have an author there, that's a whole different group of people who are interested in that. And they can come there and they can just buy one glass of wine, but they can think this is beautiful. Next time I have friends in town, I'm going to bring them here.
Yeah, and from the standpoint of the winery, I think that the people in this role that I have, I think the hard sell is to say, hey, these might not be high margin events.
Well, that's the thing.
Or any margin events,
Yeah.
and yet, we think them to be necessary. And I'd love to see the industry as a whole be more on that, right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, it's not going to be one winery. There's a couple of bigger ones that may have more sway, but this has to be, somewhat of a concerted effort to get the industry back and to me really, really rolling as a destination for people nationwide.
Yeah, exactly. And that is part of marketing and sales, isn't it? I'm there, I'm listening to music, I'm drinking your wine. I'm going to remember that brand the next time I'm going to buy wine. I mean,
Sure.
that's what you're really doing. You're planting seeds, you're making a connection. That's what brands do.
This is what Wine Road's done. I mean, Wine Road has been the leader of bringing, not only events, but marketing in a coalition of wineries to say this area is meaningful to your next experience or your next potential of great wine with memory attached to it.
An experience. On the last winter, no, it was on the Wine and Food Affair a couple months ago. I noticed I always go and talk to people like, where are you from? What are you doing? I met 2 groups of women that were just on a girls' trip that planned it around the event.
Yeah.
I said, how great is that? She goes, we love it because it gives us kind of a focus. During the day, we come here and then we go back to the guest house but it gives us a way to experience where we don't have to think of what to do.
Yeah, they're not
and they
planning
use
the
the
whole
event
weekend.
as
Sure.
like a placeholder and a way to get together. And I thought, oh, that is so cool. One group was from Florida and the other group was from Ohio. So
Nice.
I thought that's cool.
It's just another way that Wine Road has been ahead of the curve for so long.
Oh, thanks. He's buttering me up because he forgot to bring wine this morning. As if I'm going to forget.
You're not going to get off the hook that easy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so this is something that Marcy and I talked about for 2 minutes in her driveway because she always has a million ideas, and I'm like, okay, I got to go. But you had the author there, and so she mentioned somehow there could be some sort of Wine Road, book club sort of thing. And I thought, gosh, when I left you, I drove all the way back from Sebastopol to Hillsbury, and I thought, wow, that is an idea. So the next morning I met with Julie Pedroncelli because she's done that, and got her feedback on the idea. And I thought, I'm going to move forward with this. We have to fine-tune it. But
I've already written a proposal.
we are going to have sort of a Wine Road book club sort of thing, and
I love it.
figure that out.
Yeah, we have a little, we did a kind of soft launch of that last year called the Book and Ladder Club, right?
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
So smart.
These are all things because again, I mean, I've seen it, I've done it many times where I'm sitting there, 7, 8 o'clock, just got the kids down.
Right.
I'm opening up my book.
Right.
I'm pouring my glass
Glass
of
of
wine
wine.
for the
Exactly.
night.
It's a
And that's the
combination.
pairing. It
Right.
wasn't the
Right.
Annie's mac and cheese that
No.
I made for the kids.
Yeah.
It was my rest. It was my lifestyle. It was
Right.
it was the book.
Right.
And it really is enhanced. And this is where I think so much. And one of the things I can really, honor the younger and more introductory demographic of drinker is to say that there are some really fascinating and fun things that are coming in to wine through lifestyle pairing.
Okay, so for the spring, you said you were maybe doing some bigger music things that are possibilities, or?
Yeah, so we always start up First Friday. We kind of tie it in with a local first responder organization, give some proceeds back from that day through all the wine sales, and we bring a food truck out. Often Dusky and John will come out from the Black Piglet, and they throw down, and we have just incredible local talent around here, and so we really focus on that. This isn't about bringing in the person that wants to tour from Texas. This is about showcasing what we do and what kind of artists are around this place and should be getting attention. So it kicks off in May and every first Friday until November, weather permitting.
Oh, nice.
And then, there are I'm going to do a couple of Saturdays where this will be a ticketed event, but that we do a 3-band kind of mini festival setting out there. And, the tasting room will be closed. I mean, this is unheard of stuff, just a couple
Wow.
years ago, right? Where you would close a tasting room for
No
something.
kidding.
Wow.
For the right price.
Yeah, exactly. Now it'd only be closed for a portion of the day on
Right.
2 Saturdays. But these are the things that I think we're willing to try.
Well, I think everybody, wineries have to be willing to try. That's exactly right. I mean, it's hard to know for sure what's going to draw people these days. It is a different market than it was, for sure. So let's see. Anything else, Marcy, that we need to hit on?
I don't think so. I'm just excited about all the things that Devin's, working on. It sounds great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited too. I don't think, I think it's very easy sometimes when things are changing and we're looking at things that maybe worked very well for long periods of time not working to get into a point where you're sitting there saying, well, this is doom and gloom. But the reality is that it's just a great opportunity to start to refocus your initiatives to be something different and more exciting, and the wine's still the backbone. That's the
Right,
thing.
exactly.
The wine is still the backbone. This is still
Exactly.
one of the best places in the world to grow these amazing grapes that we have and the diversity that we have.
But everything has evolved, right?
Yeah.
Everything from the day that
Right.
Robert Mondavi first, had a little, lemonade stand out on.
Exactly.
It's all evolving. And that's what people in the industry like you keep pushing that envelope, pushing it forward. You have the focus on the wine and the core business, but you have to keep looking forward and make things happen. It's hard to do that because it's comfortable to do what you've always done.
That's the thing. I think it gets comfortable. Look at what happened when you had to shut everything down. You figured out how to do virtual events, and nothing really slowed down.
Yeah.
You just you flipped a switch, and suddenly you did things differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't just say, okay, well, now we can go back to doing what we used to do. I mean, times have changed, and people's wants and desires have changed. So we have to change with that. We have to keep evolving.
Well, and I will toot your own horn one more time. Not just to butter you up, but I think that is one that is one thing that again, working with you, and I've been working with Wine Road pretty closely now for
Long time.
6 years, and probably even a little bit more before that. But that you have always been somebody that is looking to what's next, what's working, what's not working, keeping your pulse on that. And then also, staying the course when we need to, because people can get up and down and emotional about this and that, and yet here we are with 3 marquee events still rocking, being one of the best draws for the area when it comes to tasting for a weekend.
It is pretty wild.
It is there.
So speaking of events, I have to give a little shout out here to Novell and Mike Wilson from Oklahoma. I met them at Wine and Food Affair. So, a couple months ago, I met them. I was greeting them at this happy hour event, and they recognized my voice because they're podcast listeners. That was so awesome.
There you go.
I'm greeting him. He goes, "You must be on the podcast."
That's
I said,
amazing. All the way from Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I said to him, "It's we have so much fun." He goes, "Well, it's fun, but it's so informative." He's like, "We loved listening because we learn about new wineries and we check out the restaurants." So it was just super cool.
Great book that I just read with, I think I paired it with the Station 10, the Hook and Ladder Station 10 Zinfandel blend, was a book called Boomtown. If you want to learn a little bit about the history of Oklahoma City,
Oh, yeah.
fascinating,
Oh, wow.
fascinating history. And there's a lot of content there. So Boomtown, anyway, it was great. One of my
Okay.
favorite books.
Well, check it out.
I'll check that out.
So, best way to reach Hook and Ladder, URL,
Yeah,
website,
absolutely.
call
Hook and-
you on your cell phone.
Hook and ladderwinery.com. Best way to check us out. You can always say, hey, I loved you on the podcast, or you were the worst, or you owe Beth wine. That's Devin at hookandladderwinery.com. Devin at
I'm going to be writing that on bathroom walls with your cell number.
Exactly. So, and then you can give us a call anytime. But we'd love to see you.
Okay, well, we'll
So
put
I
that
have
in
a
the
few
show
more
notes.
things. I have a few more things.
That's always got something.
She's trying to cut me off, but you've got about a little bit more than a week to go to buy tickets for Winter WINEland. So I don't want to sign off without mentioning that. So I know we're, wrapping up in notes, but I thought since with the content that we talked about today and with Devin and talking about what do customers want and visitors want when they come to see wineries and come to visit in Sonoma County, I would love for you to email, and you could email me, beth@wineroad.com. I'd love to hear from listeners if, from near and far, when you come, what draws you here? The more we hear from, I will pass that on anonymously.
Beth will make it happen.
Yeah. Well, now I will try. So one more thing I want to mention in the spirit of holiday giving, I thought it would be worth mentioning that our sponsor, Ron Rubin, the man who's actually behind River Road Family Vineyards and Winery, the details about this are on their website, ronrubin.com. But in a nutshell, over the past few years, Ron has made it his mission to give out a heart defibrillator to every winery in Sonoma County. And at this point, he's given out over 300 of them.
We have one.
So that's awesome. And I mean, he sees that as part of sustainability. And, as a certified B Corporation, every part of his business is sustainable. And he feels like to call yourself sustainable, you have to be able to take care of your customers and take care of your employees. So to me, I just think this is an amazing gift, an amazing thing. And I thought, around the holidays, mention that's some serious gift giving. So shout out to Ron Rubin. And I guess that really is it. Now you can wrap it up.
All righty. Well, thank you, Devin. So great to see you.
Hey, thank you so much. Happy New Year, everyone.
Glad you're here. Happy New Year. We'll see you on the wine road.